Welcome back, everybody. This is my fourth episode in my monthly look at Clockwork Empires, currently playing Alpha 48A on the experimental branch. We return to a colony in progress. So far, for the first two previous episodes, nothing has happened, which is to say the colony's been growing quietly and uneventfully, and we haven't even seen fishmen or bandits yet. Oh, and my mineralogist has discovered sand. First order of business. Commenter Chrissy has requested that I insert her into the colony. So let's see if I have a... yes, here we go. Alright, Chrissy, you may take over Nellie Cogton and her easygoing engineers. The name, as requested, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Cheeto Me. And does the text field accept hyphens? Excellent. Cheeto Me Cogton. The easygoing engineers. Great. So you're in. Also, I had commenter Yaroslav point out to me that the reason my colonists weren't mining up any gold was because I had selected the area in, where's that gold mine? I had it just a second ago. Yes, here it is. I had selected this area for foraging rather than mining. So I dug up the mushrooms and things here, but I forgot to assign anyone to actually dig up the gold. So I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to have them mine the surface nodes here. The reason it's risky is because this is also an Obeliskian site, and I may awaken dark and eldritch things from beyond the canon of space and time. But as I mentioned last time, I'm willing to take the lives of my colonists in my hands for my personal enrichment. So I can see the flax fields are producing flax, and I will soon be able to make beds out of that. Give me 1 second here. And I have a textile mill ready. Actually, I can start making cloth right now. Of course, I need someone to work in the textile mill. Let's see. Which crew is it that is assigned to farm this field? Olivaria is farming this one. And Zelly is farming that one. That leaves Yaroslav, Preshenkovsky, corrupt work crew. So what happened the previous episode was that Yaroslav, being of criminal element, he is more likely, that attribute makes it more likely to come forward and propose sort of shady dealings to the player. So what happened previous episode was that his character came to offer me goods of dubious origin. And if you read the flavor text, it says they might have fallen off the back of an airship. And I refused. Anyway, the reason his work crew is so named the corrupt work crew is because of the attributes of the overseer. Also, he wants to start a cult. Anyway, you can work in the textile mill. All right, make me some cloth. I'm going to say standing order for 5 cloth bolts at all times. But when you're not making cloth, you're allowed to do other jobs, like hauling. Now, I don't have nearly enough beds for everyone in my colony to sleep, which is affecting their moods. Let's look at... Amos Ors is actually one of our newer arrivals. So he doesn't have any symptoms of sleep deprivation yet. But if we look at our explorer, Hydunia, she has several nights now she has not slept. And as we can see in the columns of each individual emotion, it's affecting her mood. Actually, she has been sleeping, but in unsatisfactory conditions. So as an overseer of a work crew, she is considered middle class, and she would prefer to sleep in a middle class bed. The only beds I have are these lower class cots. So I might consider building some higher class bedding. So there's the mine and our source of hematite, and we actually have another source of hematite. Here was it? Or no, here. So we're pretty good in that regard. So actually the next building we're definitely going to need, the next 2 buildings in fact, will be a ceramics workshop and the metalworks. I guess the ceramics workshop will be built first, because we need the bricks it will produce to build not only the structure of the metalworks, but also several of the modules contained inside. So I'll put the ceramics workshop over here. Now experience tells me the ceramics workshop doesn't have to be too big. The active modules actually don't take up a lot of space. So at this size, it's actually a little bit bigger than it needs to be. It's not really a problem though. I can always use the extra space for interior decorations, or maybe extra space for cots. And that was just a notification that I believe my explorer had found another mineral node. I'm just putting windows here to offset. The penalty to the condition of the building, which is incurred by installing functional modules. Okay, so the mine here is, the superstructure is complete. We still don't have a mine shaft. That's a module that needs to be constructed at the carpentry. I can queue it up, but the issue here is that the mine shaft requires 1 iron ingot and 3 planks. I've got planks. 2 workers, I will gladly take you, but I do not have an iron ingot. The way you make iron ingots is you dig up hematite. If you don't start with one, because a lot of the starting loadouts start you with iron ingots, at least 1 or 2. In this case, since, hold that thought, 3 bandits incoming, Myrtle's bonny tigers, come to plunder us, and I'm going to say we're going to fight them off. Don't have a lot of stuff, but we're going to keep it. Now, we have 3 bandits incoming, and my current military is, as headed by Mr. Meow, has only 2 people in it, the NCO and the militia. We do have a ton of guns. So for the purposes of fending off the bandits, I'm going to reassign a worker from this crew and put him in here with the military. Yeah, I'm going to take one of your workers as well, Chitomi, and I'm going to put you in with the guards as well. And having been reassigned to the guard, they're now going to, our new guards, when they're done what they're doing, their previously queued tasks, they'll run back into town, grab a weapon out of the stockpile and arm themselves, and then we'll be defended. This is just a notification that another gang of bandits has set up shop somewhere. So we actually have a list of all the different factions and groups that we've encountered or that we're aware of. And so these are the 2 announced groups. So I think we'll be well enough defended. Now it should be mentioned, combat does not happen in... Oh dear, the bandits are here. Oh, another hematite node? Where's that? Wow, there's actually quite a lot of hematite around. Alright, bandit attack. Go get him, Blanche. Mr. Meow. They're fighting in the unfinished ceramics workshop. Oh, he's come here to steal my logs. The least valuable thing in my colony. So that little red icon floating above his head means he has an affliction. Afflictions are serious wounds. And if any human accumulates enough afflictions, typically by being shot at or otherwise attacked, they'll die. Oh, Den Bandit, how are we going to deal with his corpse? I can just put the decision off for now. I can set up a standing policy to bury all corpses, which is my preferred course, or I can just let him rot in the field. I'm going to say we need to bury him, but that means we need a graveyard. So, graveyard it is. Make it nice and big. And Hydunia has discovered sulfur. One benefit of killing bandits is, of course, well, there are several benefits, but the primary benefit is that it will stop them from stealing your stuff, but also, if they were wielding firearms, they'll drop them on the ground for you to claim. One issue with corpses is that corpses that are not buried, left unburied for, I believe, an entire day, will start spawning beetles, or vermin, specifically, and they, beetles specifically, vermin generally, and they will invade your town and try and eat your crops. And also, the sight of dead bodies upsets your colonists. It affects their mood. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And for that reason, I always like to bury the corpses. You have the option, often, if your colonists are crazy enough, they will, and hungry enough, they will often dismember corpses and eat them. That's your colony's in trouble if it comes down to that. Something has gone seriously wrong. But that's a thing that can happen to corpses. Oh, by the way, I'm going to need to mine this clay. Another thing, though, so fishmen will occasionally attack your town in the same manner as bandits. And when they die, you have the option of burying them as well, or chopping them up for their meat, which can be cooked in a kitchen. Oh, hear the sound of bandits. You guys just passed. Come back. Where are you going? Oh. So as I mentioned, I believe in episode 1, this bright red gun indicates that my colonists will not attempt to retrieve this gun because it was dropped a certain minimum distance outside of town boundaries. However, it's safe in this direction now, and I wouldn't mind having another gun. So I'm actually going to claim the gun as property of the town. If we look at the bottom right here, as the autosave fires off, you'll notice we have the ticker is updated with the status of gangs and things. And as I've been killing Myrtle's Bonnie Tigers, leadership of when I kill the leader of an invading bandit gang, leadership of that gang devolves down to someone else in the gang. So we can see the leadership was changing because they were dying, and they in fact might all be dead now. Alright, so I do have hematite, and I've even got some gold. I mean, we've quarried it at any rate. We haven't hauled it back yet. I'm just waiting on the completion of the ceramics workshop so that I can build the metalworks that will allow me to smelt my hematite into ingots and make the mine shaft with which I will mine even more hematite. But I know that sounds circular, but that means I'll have the facilities needed to make advanced modules and also firearms and things like a distillery for booze and things, and intricate metal parts for the laboratory, because the laboratory has seen a bunch of additions, and I want to enact some of the research options available in the lab. How much? I've got some cloth here. I've got the black straw. Okay. I'm going to build a couple of... Actually, I'm going to build a couple of middle-class beds. So each of these requires 2 bolts of cloth, so I have enough cloth for 3 of them. Let's change the priorities here. So they'll make the beds until there's not enough cloth, and then they'll make cloth. That means I'll need a building to put them in. So I don't have the materials for a middle-class house. I may as well just... I'm just going to build a lower-class house and put the middle-class beds in there. I think that's fine. I think the colonists don't actually care what building the bed is in. They just look for the quality of the bed. What's this? Suspicious goods? Are you offering me contraband again, Yaroslav? Fell off the back of an airship under mysterious circumstances. Sure, why not? Let's accept them this time. Let's see what you've got. Sphalerite, rough stone, malachite. Not bad. Now, if we look at the bottom right here again, you'll notice that doing dastardly things has upset some of our colonists. So some of them are less than thrilled about it. And it hurts my reputation with the Empire. So depending how badly you need things or whether or not you care about Empire reputation, you may or may not want to accept shady black market goods. And before I forget, I should install a door here in this lower class bunkhouse. Let's see. Ceramics. The building's done, but the modules are not. Now I know that I've got 3 middle-class beds pending. So I'm actually going to place them as modules, assuming I can find, here we go, practical single bed. And your overseers, your middle-class overseers specifically, will be much happier to sleep in beds befitting their station, essentially. That should do it for now. How are we doing for food? 67 chowder. So we have nearly almost 5 days of food just stockpiled, and food production is ongoing. And what's going on here? Another bandit raid. 4 bandits incoming. Now our relations with bandits are neutral. If we defend ourselves, our relations will probably become hostile, which means they'll probably attack us on sight instead of just ignoring us and only raiding us when they feel like it. Of course, if I just let them take what they want, this will again hurt my reputation with the Empire. I don't want to lose any stuff, and I'm pretty sure our military can handle them. So I'm going to say, again, we're going to oppose them. So we've got a couple of things underway. Just waiting on stone deliveries to get the kilns done. So I think we're doing pretty well. Hydunia is busy surveying the land. Let's see how she's doing. She is pretty happy, although... Well, she's only marginally happy, but that's her most prominent emotion. Not bad. And we got another overseer. Excellent. Oh, oh yes, No! Mr. Meow! I look away for half a second. Okay, so what's happened here is that, and I've paused the game. The overseer of my military crew has died, which means all of the people who are assigned under him become unassigned. Like, they no longer have a leader. So long as I don't assign them to another work crew, they remain militia. It would be in my best interest, however, to give them an NCO, because having an NCO confers certain bonuses on your military. And the way I do that is I assign an overseer to the barracks who becomes the NCO. The new arrival, Barston Ironton. Surprise, you're my new NCO. He arrived in the middle of a firefight, and all of the unassigned militia are now assigned to you. Here we go. So yes, this is a notification of the death of Mr. Meow, and the notification that the work party was abandoned due to his death, and our conflict with the bandits is ongoing. I think we'll be okay, although we might lose Hobart here as well. Oh, no. Caught him on the run. Get him, Hobart. Did I just lose? No, Blanche. Oh dear. Blanche has perished as well. A day that will live forever in infamy. The day of 2 bandit raids on day 8. So I'm going to claim your weapon, your fallen weapons. Now I do have a standing policy to bury corpses, but just in case, I'm going to signal that they should be buried. Fortunately, we've been receiving replacement overseers. Otherwise, I think we might be having a bit of a staffing problem. Oh, we've just taken out another bandit. Claim these. So we've got a lot of guns now. 4 Giselle rifles. Giselle rifles are awesome guns. Unfortunately, there's no way currently in the game to order your soldiers to use particular weapons. So unless they somehow drop their original weapons, they'll never swap out their starting pistols, which are unfortunately the worst weapons in the game. Oh, what's this? Cemetery is a little overgrown. Let's clear this out. Oh, okay. we can start making bricks and thus start making the metalworks. I would like a standing order for 5 bricks at all times, and I actually need someone to work in there. Ishmael. Yes, I'm going to save Cheeto Me for the metalworks. So Ishmael, I call on you to work the ceramics workshop. There we go. How are we doing for jobs? Not too bad. So we've hit our first little bit of a rough patch here. I've had it go much, much worse, and actually thanks to our brave soldiers, we didn't suffer too badly at the hands of the bandits. What are these, let's see, the single oh. Nope, none of these have been placed yet. And the order for single beds is still pending, I believe. No, didn't I queue? Oh no, this is the wrong workshop. Of course, single beds are made in the textile workshop. I'll eventually need to mine out these malachite nodes for copper pipes and copper plates, which I'll need in the construction of the laboratory, but not yet. Won't be for some time yet. And here we have Chitomi carrying a bandit corpse for burial, as well as Zelly, although slightly buggy. Their corpses just turned invisible. Why can't I select? Trying to select you. Pause the game. There we go. Burial duties. Let's take a look at Chitomi. Chitomi. I guess the game doesn't preserve the hyphen. She ate steak recently, which made her a little bit unhappy because she is a middle-class overseer and steak is for commoners. Oh, and speaking of commoners, we have 2 more. She had conversations with someone. Now, she does take comfort in the presence of our many brave soldiers who, in fact, have been keeping the colony safe, and she enjoyed watching a building being built. Hasn't made any friends yet. She joined the colonies because there was nothing left to live for. Eee. She's not hungry. She's a little bit tired. Let's look at her skills. She is not terrible as a naturalist. She is also not terrible at science and construction and repair. So those are the skill considerations I might take into consideration when it comes time to assign people to maybe the new build lab. If I really, really wanted to super optimize my work crew allocations, I would consider each overseer's traits and their desires and their skills. Broadly speaking, though, that would involve a lot of pausing and careful weighing of attributes, and frankly, it doesn't make too big a difference. So I just assign them usually top-down order, first come, first serve on the work crew list. But if you really like that kind of detail, you can do that. Yesterday, Chitomi ate stew and fled from danger, and yeah, it's a nice little recap of the bandit raid there. Oh, a source of chalk. Well, I could have guessed that. So the colony is going pretty swimmingly. Soon I'll be able to close off the loop around the fields, although I don't think, strictly speaking, I'm not sure it'll be necessary. And by close off the loop, I mean build walls between the buildings so I have a continuous palisade around my fields. And when that happens, I'll be able to grow more precariously. You know what, I might as well do it now. I've got a ton of food stockpiled. Wheat is a more efficient crop in the longer term. Now, wheat has a period of 4 to 5 days So 4 to 5 days from planting is when it will produce its first bag of wheat flour, which you bake into bread and things. So wheat is an inherently riskier crop to plant than corn. Corn has a period of 2 days, I believe. So 2 days from planting, corn will produce its first food. So wheat is riskier in that if bugs eat your wheat plant at day 4, for instance, you've lost a lot of time, and then you have to start over. If your colony can defend itself, which is to say if you can prevent beetles from getting in and eating your crops, or fishmen sometimes like to sneak into town and jump up and down on your plants. So if you can protect your crops, the wheat yield is much higher than that of corn. Corn is safer, but generates less food. Let's see what's going on here. I think I'll keep producing flax for a while, but eventually I can be growing wheat in the main field in the middle and maybe corn out here in the secondary field when I've got enough beds. Speaking of beds, okay, we've got a bunch of, I may as well build at least one more practical single bed. Oh, what's going on here? Some kind of altercation with the fishmen. Hostile fishmen sighted. Oh, and I need to dictate future policy with regards to fishmen. I can tell my soldiers to always shoot them on sight or deny they exist. I'm going to shoot the abominations on sight. No, Hobart. Oh, my military is... I think I want this gun back. My military is really taking it. Hobart has died. Notification of a hostile fishman. Oh, Yaroswaf once again offering me black market goods. You know what? I'm busy right now. I'm just going to say no. Fishman attacking my farmers. Get back here. So why is this man holding a glowing red plank? Should bear noting, if we take a look at the fishmen, their guns are not pistols, because obviously pistols of the period, and in fact I believe pistols nowadays, would not function underwater. Oh dear, I've just lost an overseer, Barston Ironton, and I've lost his work crew. We are seeing a lot of death. Yeah, so if we take a look at the fishman pistols, those are actually spine guns. They shoot with a smoky purple discharge, and where are my soldiers? What? Oh dear. That's where my soldiers are all dead. Okay, so I've paused the game. I need to reassign a new military crew. Oh, 2 NCOs in as many days. Zelly is farming. Chitomi is... Okay, Chitomi, you are my new NCO. Oh dear. I need to conscript, well, one of the textile workers. You are going to be one of my new hastily assembled militia. Alvaria is farming. Risku, what are you doing? This is the cooking crew, and this is the carpentry. Can do with 1 fewer carpenter for now. Alright, all of you, get on those fishmen. And also we've discovered a source of coal. Oh my goodness. Just somebody's going to take care of... Oh no, Yaroswaf! Run away! Run away! Huh. Oh, there we go. The soldiers are back. Hildred. Ida Mustard is... What's going on with Ida Mustard? She's going insane. Ah, she was horrified to witness a violent death is what happened there. Alright. Could have been worse. We'll live. Right, now we have fishman corpses everywhere. A neat thing we can do with fishman corpses is we can butcher them. Or we can have our naturalists dissect them, which is what I am going to do. So that's where the corpses are. And hopefully when Hydunia gets back from wherever she's gone, she'll be able to and dissecting fish people and also obeliskians, as you can do, yields a number of results. Often it makes your naturalist a little bit crazy. It also raises your prestige with other empires because you advance the cause of science. And other strange and eldritch things are a possibility. It may catalyze the fishy transformation, which is rarely ever seen. So that's a thing that can happen. Nighttime. We're probably not any safer. Anyway, so I'm going to cut this episode off here. A little bit exciting today, although I think we've got a good base developing. Soon we'll be able to mine. Oh, look at that. They've been busy quarrying up this gold. Right. So the game is Clockwork Empires, being developed by Gaslamp Games. It's in early access. It's also available for purchase on Steam and the Humble Store and through the Gaslamp website. I'm playing 48A, which is on the experimental branch. My name is Alfred. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you next episode.